Finally, the international break is at an end and the EPL is back with a weekend fixture that saw only one game coming to a draw, and it's a shared spoils between Manchester City and Liverpool. The defending champion City were held. But Burnley on their way to the first win, or at least so we thought, right? The elephant JRP sits atop of the tree again, and Chelsea falls to Newcastle in an incredible fashion. This is Zian alongside the people's favorite JRP and the last of the real podcast. So, JRP, I share the spoils between Manchester City and Liverpool. But
Right.
a certain king, a certain Viking, Erling Haaland, right, breaks another Premier League record. I mean, this is like the fastest person to 50, breaking Andy Cole's record of 50 in 65. And he did it in 48 games. Really, how good is this guy?
He's in good company, to be honest, and he's really good. The numbers don't lie. But what I like about him is he's always moving. Even when he doesn't
Yeah.
get the first pass to him, he doesn't get frustrated or chop his hand in the ear, right? He keep
Right.
looking around, he keep moving into space. And this is a striker that he times his runs very well. He,
Yes.
he he really gets offside.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And the thing is, again, with no Kevin De Bruyne in the team, we all thought
Mhm.
Haaland
He
would
would
struggle.
struggle. Yeah,
But
because he's the main supplier for Holland.
exactly. But I mean, he's turning up week in, week out and proving the doubters wrong. But
Yes, he's proving a lot of people wrong.
and no, the thing is with City, City have won every single league match at the Etihad so far this season, and it seemed like they were on course for another victory. Only for Trent to turn up with a beautiful goal in the 80th minute.
When you said on track to winning another game at home, right? That is what champions do. This
Yeah,
is first versus second, right?
yeah,
Pep Guardiola versus Klopp, a league rivalry that produced fireworks between 2019 and 2022. Liverpool is often that one team that you can confidently say that will go toe to toe with Manchester City team.
yeah.
Last season, Liverpool shy away from the title race because they were going through this transition phase, right? With new
Mhm.
players coming in, experienced players leaving the club. This season, however, I believe this Liverpool team is really flying under the radar, and I believe they will get a push for the title.
So, adding to what you said about Klopp and Pep, Pep Guardiola said that Jurgen Klopp is the only manager that he has a problem with in terms of, finding a tactic to defeat him. He's the only manager that gives him consistent problems.
The record show he struggled against Klopp. You will see it in the head to head, right? I can't remember off
Yep.
the top of my head, but Klopp have the edge over him.
Now, Liverpool are sitting in third, right? On 28 points. Are they considered serious title contenders?
Yes, in my book, like I said, last season they shy away drastically from the title race, right? This season, with the players more settled in, Darwin Nunes still needs to join the pack. But aside from that, Liverpool really look good, and I believe that they will be there in the end.
Yeah, definitely. This is a Liverpool with a Rolls Royce attack. They're in terms of attack, they're probably right there with City. I can't say they're second best. They're right there with City.
They're
So
right,
yeah,
Bobby, and
definitely.
and they have managed to keep Mo Salah, Jota is
Mhm.
there, and like I said, Darwin Nunes is still raw. I'm not going to say he's still finding it difficult to get in the leagues. In the league, it's just the finishing is
The
the major
finishing.
concern for him.
True. But moving on away from the top contenders of the Premier League, and we're looking at the troublesome matter of Vincent Company and Burnley. Is it time for Burnley to call it quits and part ways with Company?
I believe so. Burnley have not won a league match since the start of the season, and we are 13
Yep.
games in. Their one win came against Salford City in the League Cup,
League Cup.
and that side is 17th in League Two. They got the league today, and for a second we thought, wow, Burnley is
Maybe.
going to pull it off, only to be done by yet another mistake.
This is what,
And
6 or 7?
somewhere around that. And these mistakes are the downfall to their season. It is hard to blame Vincent Company for the players making mistake on the field. It's rough. It's hard. You can't blame
Yeah.
any manager for a player scoring an own goal, right?
Yeah.
But every little thing is starting to add up to adding up right now. And I believe that they should cut their loss and try and get a experienced manager to take over this Burnley team. Because the reality is, we know Burnley is a small team, and I'm not saying that by any disrespect, right? But
Right.
not because you're a small team mean that you will have a small mentality. Burnley need to
Right.
find a way to stick around in this league. They have done the hard work of gaining promotion. Now they need to even work harder in staying up.
And that's the thing. If they can stay up this season, they can possibly reinvest and get better players for next season, just to push forward.
Definitely.
But
But is Vincent Company the man? I don't think so.
remains to be seen, my friend. Remains to be seen. The elephant sits on top of the tree again, JRP. Can we stay there this time? Can we stay the course?
That meme is very funny. Listen, the players got the experience from last season, right?
Yes.
And they know what they need to do to stay at the top. Today match was a hard fought victory against a stubborn
Stubborn.
Brentford City team. And like Thomas Frank said about respecting all but fear no one. And
Yes.
it shows. It really shows. I wish Burnley would adapt that principle.
But like you said, the mindset.
The mindset. This is what you want from our players. It wasn't the best game, right? It wasn't. Things were difficult out there. Odegaard wasn't creating much. That is understandable. He has missed around 3 games for us.
3 games, yeah.
But what you want to see is that you want your substitution to come on and to make a difference. And who better than Kai Havertz? What an
That
amazing
guy.
week he's having, right? This guy
I
played left
mean,
back for Germany, scored,
right
then he went
back.
on to play a wing back, another good performance. Now we
Yeah.
came him on as a substitution and scored. Well done to him.
Yeah. Yeah, and like he said in his press conference, football is a funny game like that, and you just
It is.
have to keep persevering and
It
pushing.
is. It is.
But speaking of football being a funny game, right? A few weeks ago, everybody in the world were lauding Tottenham as title contenders, the next best thing. And I remember in one of our episodes, you asked the question, what is the difference between Tottenham this season and Arsenal last season, right? Where we didn't get recognition until very close to the end.
Correct.
However, right, there's no James Maddison right now, and it's a big problem for Tottenham.
Massive problem. And the reality is, and we said it on this podcast, that Tottenham are one important injury away from
Injury.
falling apart. But it
Right.
shows, right? The most injury-prone player in the league is out. And I think this is one of the problem that has always hindered him from playing in top teams in England,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It does.
Not saying Tottenham's not a top team, but
No,
definitely
they-
with you.
they are a team that tends to stick around then falter at the end. and it is
Yeah,
showing right now. And if it
yeah,
was a Son that was injured and Madison was there, it would have been the same problem that they're
yeah.
facing right
Because, like we said, it just needs one of those two or one influential player to get
now.
an injury. And that's it.
And Son and Madison are their two most influential players. Build this relationship since Hurricane has
Yep.
left. Now they have lost 3 games on the run. It doesn't get easier from here because their next opponent are they're
Manchester
coming up
City.
again.
And
It
the
doesn't get
manner
easier.
in which they lose those or lost those 3 games as well, right? It was very open, very chaotic. They attack really well, failed to create chances in the final third, but defensive wise, all over the place again.
But that's their sort of play as in open football with their managers. Clearly he's an attacking manager.
Yeah,
It looked great when Madison was there and he was unlocking opponents' defense. But now
yeah.
that he's there, what is the next strategy? Because now you're coming up against a defending champion, right? You don't want to
Yeah.
go on
Toe to toe with them.
losing and a losing streak as well with losing 4 games on the run. And then you
Yeah.
have Newcastle coming up as well.
What can we say? It's not looking pretty for Tottenham at the moment.
No, it's not.
But a team that's really not looking pretty for JRP, Everton were deducted 10 points over the international break, right? For violating the Premier League profit and sustainability rules. Today we saw them lose heavily to Manchester United. Is it time up for Everton?
Truth be told, I'm not saying that Everton would have beaten Manchester United, but a 10-point deduction would have hit them hard. They have managed some good result before the
Yes.
international break, right? Result that saw them out of relegation. I believe they were somewhere like 14 in the table, if I'm not lying. But
Yeah,
now
they were
this,
up in the upper half of the table for sure.
yeah, but now they sit 19 in the league. A familiar place to be honest, but with our joke aside, now you're looking at the Everton team that will have to find some level of inspiration to dig themselves
Yeah,
out of this troubling mess. It is early days. Like I said, with the likes of Burnley and the 2 other promoted teams
Luton, Sheffield United.
who
Yeah,
are playing far poor games. I believe Everton can stick out of can get out of this. But like I said, right, that 10-point deduction could be the final straw that breaks the camel back, or it can be something of a motivation to get them out.
yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. No, but they played a poor Manchester United now. But even though Manchester United has been poor this season so far, right?
Mhm.
They sit sixth, right, with 28 points, a different or 24 points, sorry, a difference of 6 points between them and first. So that's basically 2 wins, 2 games, right? Realistically, where do you see Manchester United this season?
Manchester United, off the field problems were always much lower than their on-field performance, whether it is individual players like Harry Maguire, whether it is their owner, whether it's
Mhm.
potential owners. That sort of distraction always seems to get loud
Yeah,
in the media. Their performance, yes, have been inconsistent, right? But like you said, they are on 28 points, right? And
yeah,
they are
24 points.
six in the table. If Manchester United can continue to put out some level of good performance and get wins here and there, they can manage to stay in the top 4. I'm not going to say they are title contenders. I don't believe a lot of people have them as title contenders. But
Right.
with football, I never know what can happen.
But even saying the top four, the top four has gotten extremely harder with the likes of, us, City, Liverpool, no, Aston
Newcastle.
Villa is in the top four, Newcastle, Tottenham, it's a serious hard bunch to break into. If you think like you said, if they can put their off the field problems to one side, focus on the football at hand, Manchester United can give the top four a good run.
Then it depends on the teams that are in front of them, right? Because when we look at the Tottenham team that is currently losing at the moment, that could
Hmm.
be a way for them to sneak in, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Aston Villa, they at any moment in time, right? As good as they have been, they tend to have a bad run in them here or there.
right.
So all Manchester United that will have to do is stick around. Like I said, no one of them has title contenders, but in football you can never tell what will happen.
Exactly. No, another team that, I mean, we have to touch on, and I heard it earlier today. Everybody is down on Manchester United as underperforming. They're down on Arsenal for not playing the same kind of football as we did
Mhm.
last season. But nobody is calling out Chelsea for their poor performances after $1 billion spent. When I heard that comment, I had to look into myself and realize that they had a point. Because even when we spoke to Keke, the Chelsea fan, right, we all agree that this Chelsea team needs time. But JRP, after playing against the likes of Tottenham and playing so well, the likes of Manchester City, Chelsea played some excellent games, some hard fought games. So it felt like they were moving in the right direction.
That's right.
But they went to Newcastle and basically capitulated 2 goals in, I think, what, 1 minute or 2 minutes?
Yeah, and some indisciplined performance as well.
Very indisciplined performances, right?
They,
You see,
they, they,
where do you see Chelsea?
they hadn't lost in 5 league appearances, right? They
Right.
managed to get some positive results against teams that we consider title contenders. Possible that international break came a little bit too quick for them. I
Possible.
didn't I didn't expect them to fall apart drastically like that against a Newcastle team that they themselves have
A
a
lot of injuries.
host of injury
Yeah,
problem. So you're
yeah,
looking at this and saying Chelsea could very well get a good result, even a win out of this, right? Their
yeah,
players are playing well. When you have the likes of Palmer, who is involved in everything at the moment,
yeah.
you have Sterling finally
Sterling.
finding back his rhythm again, and then
Yeah.
the return of their captain, Reece James, right? What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Reece James got a red card. What could
For
go wrong? That's
starters.
what went wrong.
Yeah, for
In my
starters.
in my book, many people will not agree with me on this, but I never view Reece James as a Chelsea captain because he's not there. Either
Yes.
he's always out. He's like the next Madison. Now that
Yeah,
he's back, he did something stupid.
yeah. You have a point. He's like the next Madison. So, in order to be captain, you have to be there. But stupidity was running right around the Chelsea team because their most seasoned player, the rock in the team, the person that hardly makes a mistake, right? Thiago Silva was
Mhm.
basically at fault for one of the goals and made a few errors himself during the game.
Poor display by him. And like I said, one of the most seasoned campaigners in that Chelsea team. And when
Yeah,
he's making mistake like that, right?
yeah,
You're not wondering then what you expect from the other sub players.
exactly. And it's like the mistakes started trickling all around and affecting everybody.
And
But
with their good performance of late, there's no great improvement in the table.
no. And there's no improvement either in the table because if Wolves win on Monday night, right, they will leapfrog Chelsea and push them down into 11th for $1 billion spent. Where do you start? When will the results come in?
I don't see them breaking into the top four, to be honest. Like you said, you list some teams early on which are much consistent than Chelsea
Yeah,
right now. And papers, when you look on this Chelsea team, they have some damn good players.
yeah, excellent players, excellent.
But what can you say? they have a manager who was at Tottenham who didn't achieve anything. He went to PSG and still could buy a win. So I don't expect him to do much at Chelsea. So in reality, you have a loser leading a losing team.
Harsh words, but fair. Harsh words, but fair. I mean, Chelsea fans, if you disagree and you think your team just needs time and Pochettino is the man to lead Chelsea back to the glory days, because JRP, they have been the most successful team, right, in
Especially in
recent
London.
history. Exactly, without a doubt, right? Before City's dominance, it was Chelsea. So if the Chelsea fans think Pochettino is the man to lead them back to those days, please, as usual, we invite your comments. Let us know what you see that we don't see.
I don't believe that one bit.
Yeah, neither do I. Neither do I. But JRP, like Hubbard said, football is a funny game,
It is.
right?
It is.
Yeah, football is a funny game, and we'll see how it turns out. But as usual, people will ask everybody, please, if you haven't yet, go ahead, turn on the notification bell, that little like button right there,
Just mash it up.
mash it up. And as usual, people, we will ask everybody, please, right? What good?
And good up, he follow you. We out.
Well,